I think like keeping yourself open to opportunities and setting goals for yourself, but being flexible to changing them and having them evolve and change with you is the most important part.
I am clapping with the rest of the studio audience right now, Adam.
I see it. It's there. Everyone's standing. I'm so weird. So nice.
Please stop, everyone. Please.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Normalize This, the show where we discuss whether or not trends and behavior should be normalized in everyday society. My name is Adam Rippon.
Adam, do you know what this podcast is? I didn't feel it in your spirit.
I'm going to tell you why. Because I was having a panic attack that I didn't record. So I was trying to say it and check to see if I was recording, which obviously now everyone knows that I am. And also I know that I am. And if I was afraid
I feel like we needed that.
We did. And the thing is that it's a perfect segue into what this episode is about, because today we're going to be normalizing.
I'm sorry.
No, please. I'm off at a record wreck speed right now.
A record wreck speed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Danielle Young.
Oh my God, I cut you off.
And today we're going to discuss Adam doing this podcast by his damn self.
No, we're going to discuss how I'm quietly quitting right now. Oh boy, Danielle.
Loudly quitting.
I'm loudly quitting. But you know what? Right now, we are normalizing imposter syndrome, which I think I'm suffering right now because I don't know how to do a fucking podcast.
What an imposter you are.
I am. I'll be honest, because I definitely have had many moments in my life where I've had imposter syndrome.
I know. I've lived my life through imposter syndrome in various stages of my life. So I feel like this one is going to get generational and span decades. And make sure y'all stick with us, because later on in the show, we'll be playing my favorite game, Keep It or Curb It, where Adam and I will decide what to build a shrine for in our homes and what to strap to a stick of dynamite and blow to smithereens.
Incredible.
I know. What a visual.
Very visual.
You know, one of the very first things that we like to do before we get all the way into what we're normalizing is fun facts about each other. Adam, what's your fun fact today?
My fun fact is,
Not this giggle.
I know. It sounds like my fun fact is I'm about to have a mental breakdown, which is maybe true. Okay, wait.
Could be.
My fun fact is that I just got this hand sanitizer and it's incredible.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to get you one.
Your fun fact is about hand sanitizer.
Yes. And my fun fact
Adam
is that
is not really willing to let you all know about him as much as he should.
Well, the thing is like, what is there to know?
There's so many items of your life that are incredible and interesting and fun. I just know it.
That is true.
I guess I
just start surface level. As it goes on, we'll just see how deep I get.
He's gonna make you work for it, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, I'm like, I was a catfisher.
See, I'm learning from you.
I am learning. There's so many fun facts that are, that make up who I am.
Oh, wait, I have a fun fact. When I was in my early 20s, I used Sun-In.
What's Sun-In?
Sun-In is a chemical that white people put in their dark hair, and they think that it looks blonde, but it doesn't. And
what does it look like?
It looks orange.
Wow.
It looks like brass. It looks like brass finishings on a cabinet. And I walked around with hair that had
sounds
basically... It's not. It's really
That's not a good look.
No, but I really was dedicated to it, and was pretty convinced I was gorgeous, and so that's because of all of
gorgeous.
Well, now, but in those moments, I had some work to do.
Listen,
I am listening.
I don't know why that would be an option for a hair product. It
is. No, it's not a good idea. And I'm sorry it exists.
And it's a chemical. That's interesting.
Well, there's like a really fun looking couple from the 80s on the front of it. And they both have blonde hair. And you spray it in and you go in the sun and it bleaches your hair.
Huh.
Yeah, it sounds fun, right? But your hair, something that's $5 is usually not healthy for your hair.
And it's also $5. Okay.
Yeah.
The facts are getting more and more fun as we go along.
Yeah, the varnish is coming off and the truth is coming up.
And the truth is coming up. Well, Adam, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for doing that.
What is your fun fact?
Very fun fact. There's so many of them.
You've never used Sun-In.
I've never, ever used Sun-In.
Don't start now, please.
I won't. It won't happen. Here's a fun fact. This is going back to high school, Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
I was in marching band as a member of the color guard. And if you don't know what color guard is, those are the girls who are twirling flags or like these things called sabers that are literal swords that aren't sharp, or rifles that are guns that don't shoot. But it's the girls twirling and dancing around on the football field while the marching band is playing. And I was in that. I was in marching band and the color guard in that space.
Wow.
My whole entire high school life. And when I was in my senior year, I made it to color guard captain.
Damn.
I know, I was good.
I would never doubt that you were not.
Yeah. I still have my flag skills, to be honest. It's like
you do need to show them and teach me.
I can still toss my flag. I used to practice even after I graduated. I used to, I kept a flag and I would practice in my yard.
Wait,
it was so fun.
Okay, I do need a lesson, please.
Yes, I can. And I was so good and loved it so much that I went into college in marching band thinking that it would be an equally as amazing time, and it was not.
What was the difference between Color Guard High School and Color Guard College? Which does sound like a college I'd like to get accepted into. Color
Guard College. Well, listen, here's the thing. Marching bands are very much a thing in Southern colleges, but mostly in Southern colleges that have football teams and things that are it's a football culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I went to a PWI, which for those of you who don't know, is a predominantly white institution, not an HBCU, historically Black college and university. But I just thought that it would be equally as awesome to be in that type of team environment. And I loved twirling my flag. I loved it. But it was first of all, I'm in college. So I'm free. I'm free from my mother. And I'm free to be, a debaucherous teenager who's living on their own.
Right.
So start there.
Right.
And
Color Guard rules off.
That just did not feel fun to be in band, as that was what was going on in life. I was literally free. So the marching band got to come to school about a week early. And but it was we had to come to school, but we had to do band camp for that week. So every morning we had to be on the practice field by 8 a.m.
No. Okay. I'm done.
And I was already oh no.
Yeah. 8 a.m.
And then especially when people got into school, because, we were there a week and then finally people started moving in, and then it's more and more people. So it's more nightlife happening. So you're going out, and then it's just so hard to make it there. And then you also have a class. It's not just extracurricular. You have a marching band class, which was twice a week. And you had to go out there, and it was a physical class in the heat and sweating. And you're in college, and there's people just having a grand old time, just riding their bikes, living their lives. And you got to go to band practice. And then at
No.
the actual football game itself, you are a part of the halftime show and you don't get to actually be at the football game and enjoying it. You're like performing on the biggest field. And it was just like, oh my God, this is not as fun as I thought.
Yeah. The
So-
glitz and glamour of being color guard captain. I'll never think of it the same.
Straight into marching band nerd once I got to college. It was really not what I thought.
Well, maybe you were going through imposter syndrome.
Listen, and that, ladies
That
and
is-
gentlemen, is what we're here to normalize.
Yeah, it is. Danielle, we live in a world where we're constantly made to feel less than. Not me, and not
And
you.
definitely
either.
not me. I'm greater than, but I know at one point in life I felt that.
I think I've heard about it once, right?
From somewhere.
From somewhere. It couldn't have been me. But for some people, definitely not me, the LinkedInification of social media has us inundated with daily reminders of other people's success. Correct?
Highlight reels all day, every day.
All day. Plus, people change careers every day, and it can start to feel like we don't have what it takes to make it at something we have less experience with. So today, Danielle, let's normalize imposter syndrome so we can stop feeling like phonies. Danielle, let's get into it.
Let's please.
Let's please. I've definitely gone through imposter syndrome myself, which is first described by psychologist Suzanne Imes. She's a PhD. So you got to trust her.
Yeah. The
And
PH to the
Pauline-
capital D.
Capital P, capital D.
Lowercase
And
h.
Pauline Rose Clance, also PhD in the 1970s.
Mm.
So the
She's
imposter
grown. Imposter syndrome is grown.
it's growing, if you ask pretty
Listen,
much
she's
anyone.
in her 40s.
She's an older lady
She's
now,
an
older lad.
lady.
So the imposter phenomenon occurs among high achievers who are unable to internalize and accept their success.
Oh,
So-
well, at least you know if you have
It's
it,
like a good
you're
thing, right? Like-
successful.
Right. So it feels like kind of like a rite of passage sort of thing, right?
Yeah, like you're amazing. You're good. You're not an imposter. You're good.
Right. So when you have imposter syndrome, usually they'll often attribute their accomplishments to luck rather than like work or ability, and they'll have fear that others are going to eventually unmask them as a fraud.
Somebody's gonna find out.
Yeah, I've definitely felt like this before. I
Oh my
felt
God.
like
I feel like it right now.
well, right now, when I thought that I could do the opening of the podcast, and then not only did I fumble, tumble.
We saw you fail.
You saw me fail, and then I almost cut you off when you were trying to introduce yourself.
You did.
Can Suzanne and Pauline get in here?
Because I bet you Suzanne and Pauline let each other finish their sentences and introductions.
I hope they would.
They do. But you know what the thing is? Imposter
Tell me.
syndrome is it's just so funny because it's you trying to convince yourself you don't belong where you are, even though you got to where you are because you belong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a conundrum.
I don't know about you, but I've had conversations with friends who have felt like imposters in different situations. And when they'll tell me that, it will be so surprising to me because exactly like you just said, like you are here because you deserve it. But when
Yeah.
it's you, it feels so, I think
It's
what
like
can
there's
be
no way I could deserve it. But then you're like,
Yes.
well, why am I telling myself that?
right. I know that in my own space that like sometimes I've motivated myself by telling myself like you're not ready, like you have to get ready. You like my self-talk hasn't always been great. I would say it's a lot better now. But I think that it would set me up to like when I would be fully prepared and in these situations, that's that negative self-talk of like, you're not ready. Like you have to do one more, you have to do, another hour of this or something that all of a sudden you're like, after talking that way to yourself for so long, it sticks with you that when you get to the moment, you're like, well, I'm not ready. I'm not prepared.
Oh, for sure.
It's just sometimes it's so much easier for us to legitimize other people's success rather than our own.
Always. Like,
why?
Oh my God. Like I look at, and so many people probably know who this young lady is, Badass Boz on Instagram, but Bozoma St. John, she is a powerhouse across different companies, like C-suite level, CE, CO, C whatever. But like she's been in those positions at different companies like Netflix and things like that. And you look at her on Instagram and you believe it. Of course, she's amazing. She's doing this, she's doing that. And then you think about, like, for me personally, I'll think about myself and I won't have that same like enthusiasm for myself, knowing that I am a bad bitch, knowing that I am 15 plus years into my career.
Right.
And knowing that I did do enough to where someone at a tech company would notice and be like, wait, could you come over here and do that? But even in this position where I'm at, like to be essentially given a job where I didn't have to jump through hoops to get it, i.e. 7,000 interviews.
Right.
And to be given a job where I've make this incredible salary just because I am who I am and I've done what I've done in my career. And I still question myself in that space, knowing I've done all of that, knowing I'm just as dope as a Badass Boz, but feeling like, well, I didn't earn this, did I? Like, wasn't I just lucky?
Yeah. You know, in my own, like, I would feel those doubts of like, why me? Or like, everybody thinks that I can do this. And like, I just like, I feel like I'm going to let them down. And something that really helped me was basically the kind of like the Sasha Fierce of it all. When Beyonce basically talked about how Sasha Fierce was this alter ego. And I decided that like I would have like two versions of myself when I needed to do things. Like there's the Adam version, which is like, that's just me, who has like all the normal doubts of like, can they do this? Do they belong here? And it's okay if I have those doubts because everybody has them. They're normal. Right. But then this other version of me is like Adam Rippon, who like, who was hired to do something, or who's in a position where people expect that he will do a good job in this, so that's why they asked him to do this or put him in this position. And, you know, he's really reliable and he's really consistent and does really good work. And so I don't ever worry about like that version of me, because that version of me is like this perfect version, or like the one who does really good things, and it's like very confident and doesn't doubt themselves. And so being able to try to separate that when I was a competitive athlete, that's what I did all the time. That Adam Rippon was who competed and Adam was the one who trained. And so Adam could have the doubts.
Okay,
but when
Sasha Fierce.
And that Sasha Fierce thing, that changed everything for me, because Adam Rippon, Sasha Fierce, like Adam Rippon didn't doubt himself and was confident and could just do it. And I doubt myself sometimes, but the more that I am that alter ego of myself is like the more, basically, you know what I think it is that like you think of this version of yourself you want to be. And if you want to be that you think of, oh, there's these steps that I need to take. But if you have this alter ego, they can just already be that.
Yeah, because that's the thing, too. I feel like I've seen something on social media a while back, like people, and it's the same thing kind of as I was saying about someone like a Badass Boz. Like people find it very simple to support and to scream at the top of their lungs for Beyonce. Because of course, she is amazing. She is this and that, but like could never even begin to talk about themselves like that. And that I'm like, maybe this alter ego could give them that power that they need. Like how it helped you feel like, okay, this is this person, this is that person. Maybe if I can pour into this superstar version of myself, then I can get rid of this feeling that I don't belong. She belongs and she's a part of me. You know what I mean?
Totally. Oh, yeah. And I think, honestly, it kind of expands more into like doing things for ourselves right now in this moment or if we think about doing something for ourselves, the future version of ourselves.
Right.
And
You
that
gotta
future
set your
version,
future version up real heavy. You gotta set her up for success.
right. And so you're willing to kind of like do whatever you have to do in this moment because there's somehow you've separated that version of you now and the future version. You want to take care of that. It's somehow like we want to take care of something that's not us. Or I feel that way
Mm.
sometimes. It's way easier for me to care about or think highly about something that's not me, which is why for me the alter ego thing is like it's a no-brainer. I use that like in so many different aspects of my life.
Yeah, I like that. I might adopt the alter ego
Please
thing
do it
because yeah,
it's
it's easier to make sure you're pouring into something else than yourself, which is like, but for those who find it a little tougher to get to that point where they're believing themselves and knowing that they deserve to be where they are, because like imposter syndrome, it's a pressure. It's this invisible pressure that you're putting on yourself. And instead of embracing what is happening and how you can step up to it if you feel like you don't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that fear that you won't achieve what you believe that you are capable of. And sometimes we are afraid that we'll get so close. I know I have been that you'll get so close and that at the last second you won't take the final step or you won't do the right thing at the last second and it won't, everything will kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
I've had that fear. And I've also like made that fear happen. But I think, I mean, it can happen, but I think like the thing is that when it's happened and it's been me and I've kind of done it like as myself with my own doubts. And it's like, oh, well, I knew that was going to happen. But I've had moments where it hasn't worked out and I've like been my alter ego, but my alter ego doesn't seem like beaten by it. It's just like, okay, well, this happens.
Right.
Like I'll learn from it, but like this version of me doesn't get knocked down. I always go back to it.
Yeah. How do you make sure that that version of you is just you?
You know, it's easier for me to go back to like moments where I was competing, because there were definitely moments where like that alter ego kind of slipped back and I would let my own kind of fears and doubts take over. But in those moments, I was able to like recheck back in. And basically being in that alter ego state, basically I just felt like this version of me, and this is what I would remind myself, this version of me was unafraid. This version of me wasn't perfect, but if they made mistakes, they learned from them. But this version of me never had regrets. They never wished that they said something that they didn't get to say. They never didn't give something 100%. This version always was moving forward and was always being the best version of themselves.
That version is a bad bitch.
Yes. And I always felt like the best version of myself, like I said things that I thought were important. I said things I wanted to say. I was myself in situations right away. I wasn't, they're not shy. And so the more I could be that version of myself, the more honestly authentic I felt like I was to who I am.
Right. Well, listen, you can be yourself. Just know that is who the person is that you are championing. It's still very much you. And I think that's a dope way to think about trying to overcome that imposter syndrome, because it doesn't have to be a detriment to your own success, and also doesn't even have to be attached to that. Like, I feel like the people that put that pressure on them for being this imposter are also putting their self-worth at risk. Because it's like, are you attaching your self-worth to achievement?
Right. I mean,
is that the only way that you feel worthy? Yeah.
I've done that a million times. A lot of times those achievements, Danielle, like I always felt like a lot of times that some of those things that we want to achieve, they're great goals, but some of them are just like also out of our control.
Yeah, and honestly, always felt like because we just don't know. We don't know everything. You can end up limiting your dreams and the things that you think are possible just based on whatever you think and whatever you've experienced. Like for some people, this job at a tech company is their lifelong dream. And then that dream that so many people have been able to partake in may not be that greatest thing in the world. And then what?
Right.
So you're latching your self-worth onto something that is achievable, but then it's like that's all you're funneling that through instead of just like pouring into your worth as an actual human as above pouring worth into yourself for just getting a thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, complete sense. And just to like expand on it, because I totally agree with you. I think that like it's just being flexible with your opportunities too, because you can have these concrete, like, I want to be an Olympic champion. I want to be an Oscar winner. But when I think that everything is so black and white like that, and it's not focused on the person, you can achieve that. And then what? That moment comes and it goes. And it's like, it can blindside you of like, I don't know who I am without this achievement on the horizon. And I think like keeping yourself open to opportunities and setting goals for yourself, but being flexible to changing them and having them evolve and change with you is the most important part.
I am clapping with the rest of the studio audience right now, Adam.
I see it. Everyone's standing. I'm so weird. So nice.
Please stop. Everyone, please. So, Adam.
Danielle.
I really appreciate the way that you've been trying to help us get through our imposter syndromes, but you know, you're not a professional.
Well, that's true. That is true. Now, there are professionals that do have some recommendations for us, and they're from the American Psychological Association.
I love the APA.
I also love them. So some of their recommendations are talk to your mentors, recognize your expertise.
Oh, wait a minute now.
I know.
Before you keep going through, let's talk about this.
Yeah. So
talk to your mentors.
Yeah.
To your who?
Your mentors. Help me.
When you talk to your mentors, first of all, it's like recognizing if that is something that exists in your life, right? Like, because mentor sounds more like a work-related person, like that helps you like navigate the space, that's been in this longer than you, that can help you with, you know, just getting through whatever that occupation you're in. But they can always also be people who are just like a big brother, big sister, supporting you outside of just work, but just helping you learn the ropes of life.
Right. Just somebody you respect too.
Yeah. And that's hella important because that just goes to show that there's fellowship in your life. And if you got some fellowship, you got somebody to talk to something about. And those people can probably help you see that, like, girl, you belong. It's fine.
Right. Totally.
So let's talk.
I think like the recognizing your expertise.
That's a word.
That's really important. I think that's sometimes like if you can't do that yourself, that's what a mentor would help you do.
Yeah.
They would kind of lay out that resume of how you got to where you are.
Yeah, but it's also like a reminder that you are indeed that bitch. Like recognizing that you already have a skill set is like paramount to being like, oh no, I belong. Like it's not because I'm lucky. I did a thing for long enough to where people noticed.
Which is another recommendation of remember what you do well.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that when you're feeling self-conscious or you're feeling like you don't belong. But it's kind of like taking yourself out of your own situation and looking at it from an outside perspective.
Exactly. Right? And if you write it down and make it plain, which is a thing that helps with manifesting, it helps with just visualizing, it just helps with getting it out. It's something that helps you just make it real and you can acknowledge it and literally focus on it.
Make
so
it
that you
I'm
know that
writing
you can
down.
get, yeah,
That's
make it plain,
so
write it down.
good. That's really good, Danielle. Because, sometimes I think, I'm guilty of it where it's like you add so many details into whatever, and it just strip it down, make it easy. And if it's the easier and the more refined it is, the easier it feels like it is to accomplish.
Exactly. Make it plain. You know what you do well.
Yeah, make it plain. The next recommendation is realize no one's perfect.
Except, let's be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except Danielle Young. I'm still working on it.
Still pulling it together, Adam.
Intros, right?
Letting people know that it is possible to get there. But like, if we're not spending our time wasting away thinking that we're supposed to be some like picture of perfection, like, come on.
Right.
Nobody is. Not even Beyonce. And we know she is, but she's not.
No. But you know what? People who can deal with imperfections perfectly, and what I kind of mean like that is like there are no moments that feel perfect, and especially if we've like dreamed of or focused on some event and we're in the middle of it. It's just going to feel different. It will always feel different. But the people who make those moments look effortless they're like living in it. And they're just, they're able to kind of roll with those punches and be relaxed.
Knowing.
That
ain't nothing perfect.
Yes.
I love that.
That it's okay. And
it's fine.
Right. And our last recommendation, Danielle, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone who can help, a professional.
Back to the talking.
It's
you
all
see
about
how important
talking.
it is to express yourself. Honestly, don't use your mentor. Get somebody that is professionally able to listen, like a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that have the tools to help you break outside of that, like imposter syndrome prison that you put yourself in.
And they'll ask you those important questions that you might not think to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll help you reason with yourself.
Yeah, because you're working on yourself. Imposter syndrome requires you to work on yourself to understand and live in the confidence that you are who you are with the skills that you got. Be confident in that.
Beautifully put, Danielle. As usual.
I'm talking to myself, to be honest.
Well, if you're talking to yourself, I'm listening to you talk to yourself and learning and growing.
All the while,
I'm an imposter. All right, Danielle, what about imposter syndrome are we normalizing today?
Normalize being your own biggest fan.
Yes.
Hold up your own Go Poppy signs like Young Miami did for Diddy. Sometimes you just have to cheer for you. It's so nice to have people around you, your peers, your mentor, your sisters and brothers gas you up and tell you how amazing and capable you are and that you deserve all the things. But you have to celebrate your wins. You have to count on you. You have to believe in you and remind yourself that you have what it takes every day.
Right.
Like it's a mantra. It's a, affirmation. It's the thing that you should look in the mirror and tell yourself every day. I remember chatting with my sister one time about it. And I was like, listen, if we have a choice on how we talk to ourselves, like that inner voice, if that dialogue is gonna happen and I'm controlling it, I'm going to make it good.
Right.
I'm not going to make it question myself. I'm not going to make it make me feel less than. I'm going to look at that voice or, train that voice to be good to me.
Well, you spend the most time with that voice.
Right. Like I want a cheerleader.
Yeah, I want a cheerleader. I can definitely be my own worst critic, but I try really hard to balance that out with being my own biggest fan. Because sometimes it feels like, listen, if you can't cheer on yourself,
who will? Listen, DJ Khaled screams, "We the best."
Right. He screams that.
We the best. But, if he didn't believe it, would he been able to achieve it?
No.
We the best.
We the best. Music. But you're your own cheerleader.
Adam, what do you want to normalize?
I also want to normalize having an alter ego.
Sometimes you just got to believe in you and then develop that alter ego and believe in them too.
Absolutely. And sometimes that alter ego helps you believe in you because that alter ego was you pretending to be someone else to help you.
What a psychological battle. But you know what? Anything it takes.
Danielle, I think a lot of people could benefit from channeling their doubts and fears into a version of themselves that's confident and fearless. It's that perfect version of yourself.
Yes, I think so too. Beyonce really inspired me to have a Sasha Fierce, but I never went through with it.
Why not?
I don't know. I think I found out that I was what I needed all along.
Oh my God.
But I like the idea of funneling like some energy into like this confident, fearless part of myself. But I also like the idea of just being that.
Yeah. For me, it's easier to like be that version and that I can like separate like the one that's allowed to have the doubts and the one that just doesn't have them at all. And having that like that separation for me, it's like it's helpful because I'm like, I don't ever feel doubts. I'm never doubtful. I always know I can do something.
Right.
And it's like I can push that out and I don't even need to fight with it. I don't need to fight I am nervous. Like I don't ever have to go there. That's why that's really helpful for me. I don't ever have to feel strong because this alter ego of mine just is an idiot who can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Period. Believe in you.
Believe in us.
The idiot that can do anything.
The idiot that lives within me. On that note, after we've learned so much from our professionals, I think we should go right into Keep It or Curb It. Should we sing?
Keep it or curb it. That changed a little.
It did. And I changed a little. But if we don't change, we don't grow. Basically, if this is your first time ever listening to the show, welcome.
How dare you, but also welcome.
Welcome. And honestly, come on. So Keep It or Curb It is the segment where we take a look at new social trends and decide if they're worth keeping or if they're worth corbing.
Like, are we corbing?
Corbin Blue.
Corbin Blue. Is it a High School Musical or is it
High School Musical 3?
1 or 3?
Is it 1 or 3? I guess you know what? Thinking of the High School Musical, this is not a keep or curb, but I'm thinking right now, all of them have done. 3 has Olivia Rodrigo. 1 has Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Tisdale, Zac Efron. Really, none of them have flopped. Can we be real?
Not a flop.
No.
Not a flop at all. A lot of imposter syndromes in there probably too.
Probably. And also in keeping or curb, a lot of keeps in High School Musical.
Yeah, I'm keeping them.
I'm going to keep
those
them.
Kids.
So the first keep or curb, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
According to the USPS, less than 0.5% of mail is household to household mail. Not surprising. I don't remember the last time I wrote a letter.
Oh, that's what that means.
Right.
I'm so young. I had no idea what you were talking about.
And I'm so old. I knew exactly what household to household. I have 2 stamps in my house, but I always have stamps in my house, and I feel like there are people that might not.
Yeah, I have to physically get stamps if I needed them.
So to better explain household to household, that means letters, thank you notes, birthday cards, invitations. But most of your mailbox is probably stuffed with coupons and credit card offers or Amazon shipments. But it's kind of nice to get something personal sent to your address, right?
Yeah.
So should we normalize sending more mail?
I just got anxiety thinking about it.
I think let's normalize the idea. I love that.
So thoughtful. Wow.
It's so thoughtful.
But please.
I love to send things, but like it just sounds so exhausting.
It really does. Just hand it to me because you know me. Although people live in different cities, I guess.
I have friends that send out like Christmas cards and things
That
like
is
that. And
so
I think it's so great. I will never,
Who
ever do
has
that
the time
as long
and
as I live.
energy?
No,
Ugh.
I don't.
But you know what? It's quote unquote old school. I think it's really beautiful and thoughtful. As a girl who grew up having like pen pals and things like that, I really
I'm
do
so jealous.
love a letter. Oh my gosh, they had those programs in like middle school and stuff.
I
Y'all
know.
school
I
didn't
just
do
never
that?
got one. I don't think mine stuck.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they don't stick, but you still get that at least one letter. And you're like, oh my
I
God.
think I got my follow-up of like, we're pen pals, and then they pretty much
And they ghosted you.
Yeah.
Wow. And getting ghosted via letter, you like never know until it's too late, and then you've forgotten.
Yeah. And that's what happened. Forgotten.
So
it's like
I
waiting
think
for a husband to come back from war. That's what that was like.
Official.
Very official.
I think I'm going to keep sending each other mail, but I'm not going to commit to it.
Yeah, I'm keeping, but I'm like rolling my eyes. Fair? Well, you know what, Danielle, I'm going to go back. There's this app. I don't know if I still have it or if it still exists, but it was like you could send a postcard from a photo, and it would be a photo of something from your camera roll. So you could upload a photo, and it'd be like $1 to send a postcard. And if I would visit a friend, I would send them a postcard of like a picture
of yourself
from our trip, and it was like $1, and it was cute.
I don't know if I like this, but it seems like a cool way of marrying snail mail with the internet, like technology.
Yeah. Now that I've said it out loud, it's
like you had to be there.
It's something that sounds cool in 2011.
Right.
Yeah, which is probably the last time I opened this. I'm going to open my phone right now and see it. If I have it. I don't think it exists.
Open it up.
I hope it doesn't.
Either way, I'm still going to keep it, but not commit to it.
Okay. I keep and roll eyes.
I heard.
Yeah, I don't have it.
That's fine.
I think, yeah.
I'm never using that app. So next up.
You shouldn't.
Are we keeping or curbing this, Adam? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
With the rise of remote work, people came very attached to their animals. Oh,
okay.
I can't wait until I get attached to mine. And there's research that tells us that many aren't willing to give it up, not even for the almighty dollar. So according to a survey by the Vetster, over 2/3 of pet owners have searched for a more flexible job to devote more time to their fur babies. A recent survey of 2,000 employed pet owners found that 71% have made significant life change because of their pet, and 6 in 10 have previously left a job because they were forced to return to the office that wasn't pet friendly.
Damn, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. The people are not having it. We want to be at home with our babies. Should we keep or curb prioritizing jobs that are pet friendly?
I think keep, because like pets
sounds like freedom to me.
Yeah, they bring so much joy to our lives.
Yeah. They do.
They just do.
It's worth it.
It's so worth it.
Yeah.
I say just you keep. And also, Danielle, the app does exist. I just found it on my phone. It's called Postagram.
Postagram. That's actually very cute.
And and it looks, they've done some updates since 2011.
Postagram.
Oh, okay. No, wait, this is cute. It is cute. I'm never going to send it though. I'm still not doing it. I'm curbing myself.
I've curbed you already.
Thank you.
So are we, I'm keeping jobs that are pet friendly. To your point, pets are joy.
They're joy.
They deserve to be loved, and we get that love from them back. And it's just, I don't know. It sounds like ideal for, we've talked about quiet quitting and all these folks that want to stay home or not work these jobs anymore. Life has been obviously way too fragile and way too long. And to have it be put in our face like it has over the pandemic, it's like everybody is doing things that they find joy in. And
yes,
honestly, yes, power to the people.
Yeah.
keeping pet-friendly work life.
We keep it. Our next keeper, curb. So this probably isn't going to shock you, but our generation is not doing a great job with the whole saving for retirement thing. Not good, our generation.
Whoops.
Oops.
I mean, we mean well.
We do mean well, and we're living in the moment. We're living in the moment, which matters. And we're sending postograms to each other.
Yeah.
So the National Institute of American Securities reports that 96.2% of millennials born 1981 to 1991, they're not properly saving for retirement. And it gets worse.
Oh, God.
Over 66% of millennials have zero money saved for retirement.
Yeah.
So, people are going to blame whatever, avocado toast, Coachella tickets, but saving for retirement in this economy and with this state of the world could seem like a luxury. Not everybody has the opportunity to save. So
that's also real.
So keep or curb millennials not saving for retirement.
Oh, because they're talking to me. I'm a saver, yes. But I also understand why millennials feel this way. Like we
look
don't think
everything
the world
we've been
is going to be here.
Yeah, totally.
We're really by the time we get retirement age, are we even going to be here? Like, I don't want to be morbid or anything, but folks are like dying so much younger. Because the world is actually so tired of us. Like, we don't have an ozone layer. It's just so many things.
We don't have an ozone layer.
That it's like, I don't know if the world is going to be here. So maybe subconsciously, millennials are like, girl, we got a good 50 years left. Like,
yeah, live it up.
Live it up. Go to Ibiza.
Go to Ibiza and get it out of your Roth IRA. You don't need it. You're
not going to make it.
I'll be honest, I did not start saving until like 2 or 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. I was convinced that I don't want to be broke ever. So I tried to save very early. It's very tough when you're broke.
But that's why I didn't have anything to save.
Like, what is left?
I remember that I had like enough money that if like there was something that came up that I would be able to deal with it. Like if I got a flat tire or like something like that, like some emergency thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't have much outside of that. And I remember the day that I called like Bank of America and was like, I'd like to open a savings account because I just had a checking account. I didn't even have like any money to put into a savings account.
Just the checking. Just the debit card.
I was just the debit bitch, Debbie Downer,
reporting for duty.
I mean, I remember applying for those motherfucking credit cards. I was trying to get some United Airlines thing that I got a million letters in the mail that I was rejected for.
Oh my gosh, I understand.
So, like, I've done all of that. And so I understand that saving for retirement is like, it's a luxury of having extra money. But if you can do it, just a little bit can go a long way.
Yeah, a little bit can go a long way. And now we also have the luxury of different ways that your money can grow, not just sitting in savings and different investments. And you don't have to, because back in my day as a millennial, there was a lot of intimidation around money and what it could look like to have stocks and bonds and different things and degrees of wealth building. But now everything is a little bit more accessible. The internet makes it very simple to Google things, and there's articles and books and Netflix shows like how to get good with money and resources and so many things that are able to help you plant a seed and learn what it's like to save money without being like, oh, let me put away this 5% of my paycheck every time. It's like, oh, I can actually grow my money too. So
right, because that sounds boring. But hearing that it can grow is like exciting, which it can, especially if you like start to invest it. And it's so funny
sounds far off when you broke.
Yeah, it does. You're like investing.
Honey, I gotta go get me some ramen noodles.
Right. How can I invest when I have dinner?
for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But real.
It's true, but like really, like that's how people who have a lot of money keep having a lot of money.
I want my money
It's
to
their
make money.
investments.
I don't want to just be saving. So if we're keeping or curbing, I would love to keep saving money and curb millennials not saving for retirement, because y'all, we're going to make it. We're going to get to be old, and we're going to get to see our children's children, make that money. But
I'm with you.
Let's set up ourselves for, the future.
Let's give a little bit of buffer so we don't have to work until like forever.
I do want to stop working very soon.
I feel like within 10 minutes we'll be done working on this podcast.
I want to be done working very soon so I could just be like, my money's making money.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want my money to keep making money so that I can just keep or curb things with you all day.
Period. Love that.
I love it.
I feel warm.
Good. I want to warm you.
Adam, oh my God. We're coming to the end of our episode. And you know what I like to ask you at the end?
You ask me every time, and I'm ready to answer.
Are you?
Yes.
What is your favorite takeaway from today's episode, Adam?
Well, I'll tell you what my favorite takeaway was when I cut you off in the beginning. Wow, it's haunting me.
Hated that it happened to you like that.
Yeah. I hate that is how it went down. But I will say that I had a great conversation on imposter syndrome, and it's really helpful to know that other people go through it as well, because sometimes it feels like some people don't feel it at all.
No, they're just pretending to not feel it, and they're getting through it by reminding themselves of who they are and what they're good at, and that they are amazing. It's all about your affirmations. You cannot be an imposter when you know you're that bitch. Yeah.
When you know you're that bitch.
Yeah. That was my favorite takeaway. That was mine. Just like knowing that you are the one. You're the one that's supposed to be where you are.
What a perfect way to end.
I know, Adam. I know.
I know. Well, Danielle, that's it for our time today. Everybody, thank you so much for listening.
I know your ears are just loving it.
They are. I know mine are. Mine are loving it. Make sure that if you listen today, you rate, you comment, you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. 5 stars, quick review. Reach out to us on social media. I'm at @AdaRip on Instagram and at AdamRipHunt on Twitter. Danielle, what about you?
Your girl is at the Danielle Young on Instagram and at Rapsodani, RHAPSODANI on the Twitters. Please.
On the Twitters.
Put your best foot forward and just slide on in those DMs.
Yes. Let us know if there's anything that you think that we should normalize, because we're here and we're ready to do it.
Period.
That's it for now. You'll see us next time on Normalize This. Until then, give your pet a big kiss from both of us.
Oh my God. Let them know you're not going back to work.
Yeah. You've quit.
Quietly and loudly.
Quiet. Bye.
Bye. Everyone out there listening, we want to hear from you. Make sure you follow at Make SpringHill on all platforms for weekly show updates.